I want to drop some tips, some business ideas because for me, I've been thinking that for people who want to look at construction from the standpoint of what business can I do, they can start looking at construction from 3 points. So construction, you need resources. Construction requires resources. Okay, you want to build a house. That house needs resources to build a house, right? And then the resources in construction, you can divide them into three. There's human resource. There is machines and tools. There's humans, right? Imagine that you want to build a house. You need people. You need a, of course, you want to build a house. You need money, but that money is used to purchase three types of things: people, the skills and expertise of people. That's one. Two, equipment, tools, machines, and three, materials. So you need these three things, right? To put up a structure, you need three things. You need people, you need materials, and you need equipment. So just as you need these three things, start a business in construction too, you need to, you can invest in these three areas. Okay, you can start your business from these three areas. So from the standpoint of materials, your house is made up of stuff. Okay, it's made up of stuff. It's made up of a block. When you do plastering, that's a mix. Okay, tiles. I mean, look at any building. Look at the components of the buildings. They are stuffs. Okay, you can see wood. You can see glass. Right. You can see the WC. Okay, you can see what else? Paint. You can see what? Concrete. So these are the materials that people use to make buildings. You can start being a supplier of those materials. That's one business line. Okay, if you have the network and you have capital, you can go into the material supply business in construction. You can sell sand, you can sell gravel, you can sell cement, you can sell blocks, you can sell ties. Okay, you can sell all these basins, WC. Um, you can sell. Let me just put furniture too, right? Because it's inside the house. You can sell that. Buildings require iron. Okay, buildings require iron. I know there's plenty people into this business where they buy a reinforcement. Okay, and they sell to you. They get in containers and they sell to you. Every building requires iron to stand. Those things are very. In fact, the iron, the reinforcement you are buying, is one of the most expensive part of your building. Especially the iron for the foundation. So you have things like that, right? That's one side. Now let's look at the second resources, which is equipment and tools. Okay, so human beings make machines to make our work easy. Can you imagine one small human being, one small human creating a 5, 6 story building? They are not one, they are plenty. But of course, putting a building up requires labor. But what is even better is that all those labor, right? You can substitute them for machine. Okay, you can substitute them for machine. So you have people now who are, there's no machine for automatically laying blocks, but there are machines for concrete. There are machines for mixing concrete. There are machines for laying concrete, putting concrete. There's machine for plastering, and that machine now can replace the work that you would have to hire about 20 people to do. Okay, where I'm at right now, they are if you want to do if you want to cast their columns, they have a machine that will mix it. They have a machine that will pump it, that will take it from where it has been mixed. Okay, and put it inside the column the formwork has been put around. All you have to do now, you just have to be up there and monitor it and kind of like manage the process. Imagine you're casting a column that is um 20 feet tall. You understand? How many people do you think will be climbing? They will climb up and be pouring it. They will climb up and be pouring it. So if you have normal residential buildings now, buildings are not that big now. Of course, people who can climb up, they will climb the formwork, they will pour it, they will get labor. When you have something like that, you need machine. So concrete mixer, there are so many machines, but the tool that right now, I can remember right now that I'm thinking of scaffolds because of course you need to do when people are painting the outside of a structure, they need scaffold when they are plastering. When they want to do work on the outside, they need scaffolds. Scaffolds are expensive. For my calculation, you need about if you want your scaffold to be useful for like a 2 story building, you need about 2.5. You need to buy the iron and you need the welder to put it together. So anywhere 2 million and above. Okay, but from scaffolds now you can be making rent per day. I think it should be above 200K, 250,000, 250,000 for a day. So you know that in a couple of months, based on how you're seeing jobs, you can make your entire capital back. Concrete mixers is another one, right? There's a very small one I saw one time. Some of those guys were renting it for 60K per day. Okay, you pay the driver, you pay the person that operates it, the rest is your profit. Another one I saw again that they used on the site that I worked at, that one was 150,000. They used it to cast I think we used it for 3 days. Use it for 3 days. They used to cast the slab, the floor. That floor you're matching on your house, it's called a slab. They used to cast this entire slab. So they casted that slab and the rent per day was 150K. Now imagine 3 days. You pay the operator. In fact, every single day, the owner is making over 100,000 because once you pay up, how much are you paying operator and labor for one day? You understand? How much you pay driver to go and drop it and bring it back? And I like those kind of things because they can be easily Once you buy them, I like the materials business, no, the equipment business, because once you buy them, all you have to do is just maintain them. You maintain it. Okay. You buy it once, it's like an asset. It is an asset. Materials are not necessarily asset because for me, you make money from materials from the overhead. You buy cheap, you sell high. Abi? You buy it cheap, you sell it, you add your own, you make a profit from the marginal difference from how much you sell, how much you buy. The thing about asset business is that they last for a very long time. It doesn't have that much headache of you going to go and buy this, then sell, then buy this, then sell. You can keep it in your backyard. Okay, all you have to do is just maintain. And maintenance for those things is very, very low cost. And they can last you for years. So for me, I really like that's why I like the equipment business. And the other smaller equipment too that you can rent, like tiny equipment. There's a small mixer I saw. There's filing machine. There's some drilling machine. All those ones are small, but you want to make a lot of money. Focus on those very crucial and those equipment that can be used for large scale work. Okay. The next one is human resource. You can start a business from that standpoint. So this is why I like to categorize the human resource needed on the site. There's professional, there's consultants, there's the professionals, there's the consultants, and there are the artisans. The professionals are like people that have a license, okay? They studied for years in school, they have a license. Think of architects, civil engineers. You need them, right? For your house. You need the architect to design your home for you. You need structural engineers to determine the reinforcements that will make your house stand. One determines the skeleton, the other one determines the aesthetics, the looks, the beauty, the space. Okay, the space. So you want a 2, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, you want a 5 bedroom, but you have a land that is about 800 square meters, but you want a 4 bedroom. How many stories does it have to be? This, that. Where the the architect deals with. He knows how to transform the space. Okay, he knows he knows how to transform the space, like how to use the space that you give him, right, to give you the best that space can create out of your own requirements. Okay, then okay, beauty too. The finishing of the house too belongs to the architect. But for the house to start, any house that falls, any house that collapses, is always a reinforcement problem. It's not an aesthetics or design problem. It is always a reinforcement problem. The civil or structural engineer now can design the reinforcement. Tell you that okay, you want a 2-story building, and this is how you want it to be. Okay, this is where you need to put iron. This is where you need to put the columns. Inside the columns, you need white 10, white 2. This is the iron diameter and strength that you need to put in this column so that your house doesn't fall. Because at the end of the day, it is the iron in the building that is carrying the building. What is really carrying your house is that iron inside. Okay, the iron inside your house. When you are casting, you're casting the columns. It's iron that is inside that place. So, so, those are the professionals, right? You also need professionals like the quantity surveyor. So now you don't embark on a project where you know that you have 10 million now. You want to build a bungalow, and you start. You need to know how much it will take you to do the project so that you can know. So that you don't do your project halfway. So you know if the project is something that you can even embark on in the first place. Not that you have 20 million saved, but your project will do you 30 million. But because you didn't get a quantity surveyor to help you cost every single aspect of your house, from materials to labor to every single thing, and that house would have cost you like 30 million, and 20 million is all you have. You will build your house halfway, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your house will just remain uncompleted. Okay. So I mentioned the major professions are architect, civil or structural engineer, and QS. Then let's look at consultant. So if you be a consultant, there's really no license. Consultants they give advice. Okay, so if you want to consult, it is more for projects that you have experience in. Like for example, if it doesn't matter where you are from, but let's say you have experience building a particular type of project, and there's someone that wants to build something similar, it comes to you for advice. And when you do a project, of course, there's unforeseen problems. There are short courses that you will take. You learn a lot when you're doing a project. So what you've done is that project you did that took you 1 year to do with all the problems and all the wahala, you now start advising the person. The person can kind of like avoid those problems and use your own kind of those things that you learned, right? So they can finish the project faster and finish the project cheaper. Okay, it's just like somebody now that has 10 years experience doing something, right? Instead of you to go and do it for 10 years, it will boil down that entire 10 experience for you and you do it in 1 year. That's just the value of consultants. They make your job very easy. Now, for the third category, because human resource, I call the artisans. The artisans are the ones that physically put the building together. Electrician, plumber, mason, carpenter. Electrician, plumber, mason, carpenter. Um, yes, they're the artisans, right? They have a hand knowledge. They're the one that physically puts your building together. Okay, your building requires blocks. You need the mason to put the block. It requires plastering. That's mason work. It requires concreting. The mason is involved. Your building requires windows, doors, carpenter, right? Depending on if you want to buy your door, if you want to make it yourself. Also, your building requires carpenters too, right? The three important people that put a structure together. Most important people are the iron bender, the carpenter, and the mason. You need formwork to give your building. The parts of your building needs to have shape. Okay, you need a carpenter, right? Your staircase, your staircase are not made of blocks, they're made of concrete. And now for you to pour concrete there, carpenters will come and put their board on this under it. See that shape that your staircase is making. Those things are bored. So it is boarded first. After it is boarded, the iron bender passes iron through it. Then the mason cast. You see, I mentioned three people now for just that structure. I mentioned three, iron bender, carpenter, mason. So one person don't use. It's not one person that used to build. It's not one person that used to build house. Okay, you need a couple of artisans, professionals, suppliers, all those things put together. You need to manage everything. Okay, like contract, rent, divide, project, whatever. So yeah, stop. So now these artisans, right? Like I said, they you need, after your building is put up together, you need the plumber. Imagine you're in a building and your building does not have water. How can you live in a house where you want the tap and there's no water? You go to toilet and flush and there's no water. You try to pee, there's no water. You want to wash your hands, there's no water. How can you live in a building where there's no light? Not that everybody in your area is having light. Do you know how uncomfortable it is where you see that your neighbor has light and you yourself you don't have light? You know how painful it is. So imagine being in a building where there's no light. Imagine being in a building where there's no plumbing, there's no water service. You just die. So you guys. So those guys are very important. The beauty of your house, the finishing too, the mason does all these interlocks you have outside, all these stones, beautiful stones, your tiling that you put on your wall for design your bedroom, mason. So for me, these are the three most important categories, right? With the human resource, of course, it is experience, skill, and expertise that is being sold. So what do I mean by you can start a business from that standpoint? You can become a subcontractor, you can become a consultant and charge for it. If you're an architect, there are people that build design firms. Your job now, you can just take one part of construction and deliver a service for just that part. Just like the materials and the equipment, right? You don't need to be a contractor. Just provide design service for clients or for contractors that have clients. My clients want a 5 bedroom bungalow, a 2, 3, a 1 million story building. Design it for them. Once you design it for them, you give it to structural engineer. He tells them how the iron is going. You design it for them, you do the finishing of the build. You can provide that as a service. As a QS, you can provide that as a service. Okay. My mom, my mom now, my mom now wants to build her home. Okay, she has the land, but she was asking me how much is it going to take for her to build it to DPC, like to build it to foundation level, to DPC level. Okay, and I got the QS. The QS is going to charge you a fee. The QS said 40K. Is going to give based on the house is one story. So they'll look at the plan and they will charge. Okay, if you want us to give you a very detailed document, BOQ. Okay, this is how much you need to pay. Right. So QSF, you don't even need to belong to a company. You can run your own service as a freelancer. Okay, once you have the skill, once you have QS skills, you should be able to deliver what the QS can deliver. Why have I not mentioned? Consultant, I say you can open a consulting firm, you know, or people wants to build, you charge them, right? Give them advice, you charge them. Um, but to consult, you have to have years of experience, or you have to have experience, a lot of experience in a particular project the person wants to do. Therefore, the artisans, you can open a subcontracting firm, you can sell your skills, um, okay? You can okay, so there was job, there was one job um me and my instructor went to go and do. It was the repair of a pool. Right. So what happened was, pool usually have loads of water, right? The joints, the towel joints in the pool was not properly. They didn't mix proper water sealant because you need all these materials, right, and chemicals before once you put your towels, right, between the towels, that thing is called a towel joint. You need to put a mix there that will hold it together and prevent water from going. So the people that did the job before now, they didn't put the proper mix inside, and water passed through and we went under the tiles and was spilling the tiles. So all the tiles would eventually spoil. So we did this job in 3 days. We removed all the towel joints. We bought proper mix. We put it together. We did it in 3 days. So if you have those type of skills when it comes to tiling, you understand you can do a job independently. Okay. If you're a plumber now, right, somebody needs something to be facing their house, you can do. Now the money aspect for me comes so you can take independent. I'm used to the online world, so I like to use the word freelance. Okay, because it means that you are operating independently. Freelance. So I'll just call it freelance. Okay. Um, as a carpenter too, there are also freelance gigs you can do. But the money really start coming when you start getting contracts. There are two types of contract. There's the general contractor, the contractor you give an entire building project to, and there's what they call subcontractor. Okay, and that subcontractor are usually artisans or tradesmen. Okay, they are contracting that works on the level of artisans or tradesmen. So, for example, you're a general contractor. You have a contract for a building, but you don't really have much experience with the electrical wiring. Okay, I know that this building is a commercial building. You can subcontract to somebody who's an electrician. That electrician can take the job. If you hire his boys and all of them wire the building, you can give them the electrical building plan. There's usually what they call MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So you can give that to the electrician, to the plumber you're subcontracting to. They look at it, they build it, and they help you pipe your entire house, or they help you wire your entire house. Okay, you can give the building of an entire level. Okay, let's say you want to build a three-story building, you can subcontract an entire floor to a mason. All right, who understands block work, who knows how to read the architectural drawing, knows the dimensions of the space, okay, knows where the doors are, where the wall is, where the window is, knows how to dress the window, and he can get his boys and they can do the job. And he just basically, he is also a contractor, but he's contracting based on a part of the entire, project. Right? Some people are lucky where some plumbers, electricians are lucky where they are given a contract to wire an entire estate, all the buildings in an estate, okay, or create provide the plumbing services for all the buildings in an entire estate. And you know one thing about estates, especially where the houses look alike, right? They just replicate the same thing again and again and again. So you make their job even easier, but they will charge you per building, okay? Maybe they can give you a discount when you add everything together. Well, that depends on how the negotiation goes. So basically, you can start a. I don't like to call them companies because people think of when I say company, people are thinking of you coming to an office and sit down. You can. It's a company because a company is a group of people with skills, providing skills, working in organization, like working together in organized way to achieve something. Abi, but if you think of company, people are thinking of someone wearing suit and tie, but I don't really mean that. Sure, you get so. You can with this human resource side, you need skills and expertise. So if you have those skills or you're interested in learning those skills as an artisan, go ahead. If you're already an architect, you can take freelance gigs. There's a woman I know, an architect. I think she was paid like £1 million to. It was a one-story, three-bedroom house. I honestly I can't remember what she said, but it was 1 million and something. And she was able to do the project in like a week. She was able to design the building in like a week, and she gave her client. So you don't even need to open a company and start paying rent for one place and now 500 people working for it. That's if you want to scale. Okay, so you can, if you have the skills, the expertise, the license, you can run these things independently, or you can build a team of people that can work with you. Especially if the scale of the job is higher. You understand? But if the scale of job is higher, of course, you make more money. So look at construction from the three aspects. I'm sorry, the human resource was a bit longer because it has a lot of parts to it. It has about three parts to it, right? Three categories. Okay, the way you can divide them: professionals, consultants, and artisans, right? But if you're looking at construction from a business standpoint, these are the three ways you can look at it. If you have a lot of money, you're not an architect or an engineer or an artisan. My advice is buy equipment, okay, and lease the equipment, rent it. If you want to enter the supply business, you need a network and you need connection. If you have that, go ahead with that, okay? If you have the skill or you have the time to go and learn it, right? Go and learn it, okay? And start your own company or business. So those are the three ways you can approach construction from a business standpoint. If you have anything, maybe I missed something, any advice or whatever, please the comments, please.